Good morning, everyone. So this morning, I woke up and I was like, man, I need to get some Jesus mode this morning. Wake up in Jesus mode, you know? So I opened up the Word and I pray that God just lead me. And He lead me to where, what I would need to hear to push forward today. I'm a little sore from yesterday from working out for the first time in a little bit more than 4 months. I'm just a little tired, you know? But, so I just asked God to lead me to where He would be able to teach me, you know, and He led me to Nehemiah 8, chapter 8. And I read through there, and it just made sense for what I'm trying to do in my life right now. It made sense, you know, that the people really do love like rules and structure and law, and for sure people that have never really had it or nothing, they really enjoy it, and it helps them to be so much more successful in their life, you know. And it's just so phenomenal to see that. I'm looking at my Bible right here, so it's so phenomenal to see that you know, that people become attentive and they start listening in your friends, your community, in the churches, and even in the courts or prison systems or whatever. When there's rules, there's laws, there's structure, there's all these different things in the military. The same thing, you know. Structure really helps people to be successful. You look at people in military, you know, that have worked their way up the ranks and everything. They end up becoming very successful people in their lives, you know. But it says that they were attentive, that all these men and women became attentive, and they fell to the ground worshiping the Lord. They didn't know the Lord. They didn't know nothing, nothing about faith or religion or whatever you want to call it. Didn't know nothing about it, but as soon as they heard it, they fall in love with it. And they fall to the ground, humble themselves, and worship it. And it's so crazy because a lot of the things I see a lot of times is that people that know the Word, it takes forever for us to fall to our knees and worship the Lord. It takes us forever to go into prayer and ask Him for help when we try all these other things on our own instead of going to Him first, you know? And the people that hear it the first time, when the first time they hear it, they just fall. I know. And but myself, I didn't just fall the first time. I didn't just fall in love the first time. It took probably 100 million times because I'm hard-headed. You know? But, you know, they wept to hear more of the Word. They were crying, just in tears, mourning to be able to hear more about God. Every time they heard the words of the law, they cried more, like joyful tears, that there was some sort of structure. That's how bad we need structure in our lives, you know. And then it says that, it says in 10, it says, then He said to them, go your way, eat the fat, drink the sweet, and send portions to those whom nothing is prepared. Like, just go live your life and be merry and be excited about it, you know. And for every day is holy. Every single day that you wake up, that is holy, and it's a blessing, and we take it for granted. I know I do a lot of times, you know. But it says, do not sorrow. Do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. No matter what I look like with all these tattoos, nothing, doesn't matter. Because the joy, how much people see that I love Jesus Christ, that I love God, that I love His Word, that I love His laws, that I love His discipline, even, that I love the bad when it comes, love the good just the same. You know, you can't, like, I know a lot of times I always try to accept, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can take the good. But when the bad shows up, I'm like, oh, you gotta kick rocks. Like, no. Like, I have to accept the bad as well as the good, because it all builds me up. Builds me up to be a warrior for Christ. Builds me up to be a man of Christ, a man of God, and to have the integrity to live out the blessings that God has for me. And I'm just thankful for that. And I'm so thankful that when I stop and pray and I ask God to show me, because what I'm trying to do with Pathways to Pillars, okay, is I want to build some structure. I want to build some structure for some people. I want the structure to be reliable. You know, to be reliable, that they know that they can go there anytime without no rain, sleet, snow. It don't matter. The roads are icy. We ain't tripping. We'll be there. And to encourage, to lift up, to empower, to help them to be a resource for themselves, to do whatever it takes, you know, to stop this epidemic of drugs and addiction and addiction to trauma and all the traumas and abuse in our lives that we allow, you know. So it showed me that people need that, and that they'll be attentive to that, and that my strength to keep going and stay focused for everyone, you know, is in the Lord. If I keep just loving Jesus Christ and loving God, if I just keep showing out and loving God, that is my strength. That's where my strength comes from, and that'll be my strength. It's just to keep smiling, keep being joyful for God, keep being joyful that He saved my life. You know, keep being joyful for these things. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to share that with everybody this morning, because God was on my heart this morning. And I've been slacking on going to church a lot and missing stuff and trying to make up just to pay my bills and do this and that and get caught up in daily life activities and stuff. And so I had to, it was on my heart, and I was convicted in the spirit. And so I had to pray, and I had to ask God to show me something. And pretty much He's telling me, keep doing what you're doing. You know, go out there and give some people some hope. Go out there and give them some hope. And just know that you're going to keep getting strength from me, Cole. The Lord's going to keep giving me strength to keep going, to keep knowing I'm doing what's right. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's really hard. And you could tell, like, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But I'm fighting. God made me a beast for a reason, because He has something that's beastly for me. He has something that's massive for me. He has this major blessings. He has a God dream for me. It's time for me to step into it. There ain't no quitting. There ain't no tapping out. There ain't no backing down. It's time to show up and show out for the Lord, like He has done for me, going into those deep, dark places to find me. It's time to stop the pity parties. It's time to stop giving up. It's time to stop. It's time to get moving for the Lord. Who wants to get moving for the Lord? I know I do. I want to keep moving for the Lord. I want to keep getting it in for the Lord. So I just want to share that, because sharing helps me to keep moving towards that. So I hope that helps y'all. God bless y'all. I just pray for strength, for blessings. You know, for each and every one of us to find out who we are, love ourselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, the turd, everything in us, to love it and really become our authentic self. You know, to be authentic in our walk, be authentic in the way that we live, be authentic in the way that we treat people, but be intentional. Be intentional, because not everyone has to forgive you if you make some wrong decisions, if you say some hurtful things. They don't have to. So just know that you know, I just hope that, you know, each and every one of us will just strive to be our best self, our best authentic self. And if there's a behavior that God is bringing to your heart, change the behavior. That's how you know what's going on. That's how you know if you love yourself and if you love the people around you. Is if you're treating them a certain way, you change your behavior. You know? I don't know. I love y'all. God bless y'all. I gotta go get working out with Gary over here at College Hill Rec Center here in Cleveland. We're gonna go try to lift some weights and see if we can get some structure in our lives. God bless y'all, man.